Hey, what's good guys? It's Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at these potential bad boys, even though they don't feel like it right now. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. This guy right here is the Nike AlphaDunk. So first things first, this colorway, I know that a lot of people, as far as like who's in the basketball side of things, like obviously like hype beasts are not paying attention to these. They're paying attention to those women's Jordan 1s that just came out. But this colorway right here, I think this colorway is horrible. It's awful. I wanted the Orlando ones, but they weren't at the store. The Orlando ones are fire. However, I just had to grab whatever was available, so I grabbed these guys, and on foot, it's just an interesting shoe. They're so chunky. But this guy right here is the hoverboard colorway. I think that the concept is cool. I just don't like the overall execution and stuff. I don't know what it is about these. They just don't look right to me. But again, a lot of people are liking them, so hopefully this is the colorway that you like. I really did want to wait for the other one, but obviously we cannot do that. Otherwise, we'd just be like dead ass last as far as reviews are concerned. And because they already released overseas, we technically are last anyways. Thanks, Nike. But these guys right here, they feel like they're going to be really good. I just don't know if they're going to feel as good as these, because these are fucking awesome, man. Like, I gotta say, like, this is a shoe that I was kind of like, yo, I don't even want to hoop in these. They just looked weird. They felt funny on foot because they're like bulky feeling. And as soon as I started wearing them, I was like, wow, those are crazy. Like, people are going to really dig these. These guys right here just feel like this on steroids, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Obviously, if you're a big ass dude, this might be exactly what you need. You might need this on steroids. But for somebody my size, this feels just a lot smoother, which is strange to say because again, they're both very bulky and stuff. We're in a weird space with Nike basketball right now. They were going very slim and slender, and now all of a sudden, boom, you got these things. You got hoverboards or hovercrafts for your feet. It's weird. But the traction of these guys looks incredible. This, a lot of people don't even pay attention to this. They don't pay attention to this. Look at that, man. That's called reference or homage or homage or whatever it is you want to call it. Tribute.
I volunteer as tribute.
But I love that they put the old up-tempo style traction on these guys, because this kind of traction wasn't just on the Nike Air Pennies, it was on the up-tempo series for a lot of years, and I just think that it's great that they put that on there, especially with this shoe having so much air. It reminds me of an old up-tempo model, and I think that that's fantastic. I don't know how this is going to perform. We're seeing like little clips here or there, like of high school kids and things like that have obviously been gifted these shoes from Nike and stuff, and some of these kids are being featured on Slam's Instagram page, and some of the kids are getting their ankles broke while wearing these and stuff because they're like skidding out and they're on really clean floor. So I'm kind of like, well, is it because the traction sucks, or is it because this 4-foot zoom unit that takes up the entire 4-foot, which is crazy, but is it because there's zero flex in these things? So when you're trying to maneuver, the shoe is just so stiff that you just wipe out. That's my main concern with the traction and stuff, is just the flexibility. You're not going to be able to maintain contact with the floor if you're trying to move with the traction. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but you never know. Now, speaking of that cushion, man, this is the most Zoom Air, this style of Zoom Air that I've ever seen. It's the most that they've ever put in one of their products before. And I know that we've had full-length Max Zoom. That's slightly different than like normal Zoom Air. It's built primarily the same for the most part, but there are certain sections of it that have Air Max pillars. It's from Air Max units, and that kind of like gives the shoe or the full-length bag a little bit more stability. This guy right here though is just a straight up Zoom unit. Like, there's no extra pillars for support or anything like that. It's just a airbag full of air and tensile fibers. It's so crazy. Like, you know what I see when I see this? You know Joe Coy?
Yes.
And you know how when he talks like his old sketches and he talks about his son, and like his son, look at my ting ting, look at my cushion. Like, that's how I feel with this shoe. Like, why would you need that much cushion? How's it gonna feel? All that. So I only tried them on real quick, and they are stiff. The front just doesn't give. Like, I was kind of worried that this area right here was just an exposed air unit, and it's not. I mean, it is exposed, but it's encased within like a really hard rubbery plastic and stuff, so it doesn't allow the Zoom bag to compress. Because what I was actually thinking was that this is gonna be just one step back and a broken ankle away from just taking someone out and stuff, but they've encased the unit and all that, so it's going to be stable. I just wonder how it's going to feel once you start moving around in it, or if I can even move around in it. Is this going to affect my calf? Is this going to aggravate it? I don't really know. But as far as looks are concerned, like, this is the kind of like, this is the stuff that drew me to like Nike products and stuff, man. The visible tech, I was like, man, look at that Air Max unit. This is what made me fall in love with Nike and its products, seeing what they actually have to offer, and not only seeing, but when you try it on, you believe. You're like, man, I think I can fly. And then you realize real quickly that you really can't, but I mean, you feel like you might be able to. Now, the rest of the cushion is just basic Phylon. It does not feel like the Zoom Rise. The Zoom Rise has some kind of foam that feels like an air. I'll talk more about it in that performance review. All I know is that that shoe is mad comfortable, dude. Like, whatever they did to that kudos to them, man. This right here feels really stiff, and then on top of that, the arch area, for whatever reason, feel like it's really pushing into my arch, and I don't like the way that that feels. So hopefully it breaks in, because right now, just off of try on, I'm like, I just really want to play in the Zoom Rise, and that's not a good thing for Nike when this is the new flagship Nike basketball shoe, and the Zoom Rise is the takedown of this. An initial try on, I'm like, I kind of want the cheaper shoe. Hopefully these break in, hopefully they feel good. I'm still just enamored with the cushion. Look at it, man. It's everywhere. Look at my cushion. Now the materials on these guys are Flyknit, but it doesn't feel like the typical Flyknit that you would feel on like a running shoe. This instead, it feels like the threading or the yarn that they use to create the Flyknit is TPU coated, so it feels very plasticky.
I was gonna say it felt crunchy.
Yeah. Plasticky, crunchy, a little similar to like the Dame 3s or the Kobe 11s. I think that's what's cool about the knit stuff, is that you can coat the yarn in a plastic and it still kind of have that soft feel, that already broken in feeling, yet because it is covered in plastic, it doesn't stretch the way that a regular yarn would. And on top of that, you can keep basically pieces of it to kind of like, I wouldn't say seal it, but like make it a piece. Instead of like layering on a piece of skin fuse or plastic, which is what they do typically, when you have the TPU coated yarn, all you got to do is heat whatever spot it is that you want to strengthen, and it fuses or bonds those materials together. And I think that it's really dope that they've been able to figure stuff like that out. It doesn't feel, again, great in hand. It feels real plasticky and stuff, but as far as its actual function is concerned, like, I think that that's an awesome thing. Now the downside to the materials is that the eyelet area is just flywire strands. I don't like that. For example, on the Zoom Rise, it's got kind of a similar setup, but instead of flywire, it is the nylon lace loops or strands, and I feel like that's a little bit stronger. Not saying that these are weak, I'm just saying that these have more room for error to break and stuff like that. I've never done it myself personally, but I do know people that have, and it's just one of those things, like, if you don't have to use flywire, like, because you have that plasticky knit, you don't really need it, so why do that? And then the back half of the shoe is all synthetic. It actually feels nice and everything. It feels like leather, but it's not leather. I do like the way that it feels. The inside part though, this reminds me of the Why Not 02s, and the little cloak. But the inside right here is this weird, it feels like vinyl. It's supposed to mimic the hat. I just think it's weird that it's in there. Luckily there's an extra actual collar, so you're not going to be chafing, because that would cause major chafage right there.
I just see serious blisters if your socks aren't tall enough.
This part right there was touching my legs.
Yeah, I sweat.
Yeah, but I mean, I got like some thick ass legs though, so I don't know if that'll be for everybody, but that was just me. Something that I do like though, I will say, every colorway's got a little bit of a different something going on, because each one has got like its own theme. But the swoosh on here is a gel swoosh. It feels crazy in hand. Like, I like just squishing it.
That's what she said.
For anybody that's old enough to remember, this stuff right here reminds me of the old React juice that used to be inside of Converse basketball shoes. They used to have like little pockets of it in the back. Some of it had it in the forefoot. Some of them had it in the actual heel of the upper. So that's what that reminds me of. I think it's dope. It's just a little gel thing. It's insignificant to performance, but I just like the little hit right there. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, I've heard a lot of people saying that they run big, that they run small. I tried mine on, and size 9 fit me perfectly. I'm going to play in it and give them like a performance review, so stay tuned. I'll let you know if there's any changes. Maybe the knit breaks in a little bit or stretches. I'm not sure. All I know is that just from a try on, true to size works best. That's what I would go with anyways, especially if you're like buying online. If you're a wide footer, you might want to go up half a size, because this knit is not going to stretch the way that a typical Flyknit would. One thing also I forgot to say, look at how wide that is. I thought the Dame 5 was wide. Actually, they are a little bit wider, but for a Nike shoe, wow. And you know why it's so wide? Because that's all Zoom Air. Look at my cushion. It's so awesome, man. I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Big shout out to everybody that is a part of our WearTesters Discord community. They actually help fund this channel so that we can do stuff just like this for you guys for free. So big thank you to them. If you wanted to find out what it means to be a WearTesters Discord community member, click the link in the description box. It'll head you over to WearTesters.com where you can read all about it. Thank you guys once again, and until next time, y'all, have a good one.
So you know at IKEA how they'll have that thing that tests the chairs? That's what I feel like this shoe needs to be put in, to like break in the front.
No, I bet you that they already have done that. Oh, to break it in for you.
Yes.
Yeah, they probably have done that to make sure that it doesn't break.
Right.
This is a lot of cushion, man. There's two sides of my thought process of this. The first one is, I don't need this.
Because you're not heavy enough for it?
Well, that is like a big thing, because this is like kind of like the big man shoe this year, which is weird because big men don't sell shoes. They never really have.
It's just crazy because they're all
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, all professional players are big. And it's always weird seeing them play in minimalist shoes. But, you know, normally like the most cushion that you'd get is like a nice foam or an Air Max unit or whatever. Like the LeBrons are usually the ones with like the most cushion and stuff. But then you got these guys thrown in the mix. You're just like, holy shit. who thought of this? It's so weird that they went away from cushion, really. Like, that's basically what's been happening. This is where, like, the marketing thing really irks me, because it's like you contradict yourself with each product that you put out. Half the time they're like, yeah, you need to be able to do this, this, and this, so this is the shoe for you. And all of a sudden they contradict it with this, and they're just like, players need.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, if you guys would just say, this is for the speedier players, and that's what they did with these. They said, like, they marketed this as, this is for the big man, the high flyer, the guy that needs a ton of launch off cushion. But that's, again, something weird, because a lot of those guys like to be able to feel the floor.
I don't think you'll be feeling anything.
Hopefully you're feeling some zoom. What I was trying to say is that I'm half and half. Half of me is like, I don't need this much cushion. This is too much for me. It's going to aggravate something in my body. But the other half of me, again, it reverts back to the little kid side of me where I see it and I'm just like, look at the cushion. It's beautiful.
It looks like teeth to me. Like whale's teeth. It's like a mouth on the front of your shoe.
That's what it is in there, though. All the tensile fibers are like little bristly brushes. I love Zoom Air so much.
These look less scary to me than the LeBrons.
Which LeBrons?
The 16s. Like,
you think that these look less scary?
Yeah, the LeBron 16s and the 15s. Whenever I watch the guys in class playing, I never understand how they don't just tip over. Even with the increased outrigger, I don't feel like...
Hey man, that little thing helped.
It does not look like a supportive enough kickstand to me. This, at least it's all flat.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. They really extended this. It's funny too, because in the LeBron 16, the mids, that little extra outrigger thing, they help for me. But when I'm playing in the low, I roll my ankle a couple times in those. And it's the same tooling and stuff. And I don't know why I do it. It's not the shoe's fault, really. It's like me and my foot. Whatever I'm doing in that shoe, I roll my ankle. And I'm kind of like, why do I keep doing this? Because I don't do it in the other one. So like, you know how the outrigger's normally here? It's like I'm rolling my foot here. So it's like some sloppy little thing that like I'll catch myself doing as it's happening, and I'm like, oh, and you're already,
here I go.
Yeah, you're already kind of in the, you know, like in the midst of like rolling, and so you're just kind of like, just do it smoothly. This though, like again, I just don't know. I'm gonna end up bringing these for backup with these, because like I feel like I'm gonna pop something. Like
your hip?
I hope not. That hurts so bad. Every time that thing comes back out, it gets a mess, dude. My hip flexor. If I move a little too fast, then the thing just comes right out. That's not supposed to happen.
There's like so many that's what she says in there.
I know, but just leave it. Okay, let them figure it out. You don't gotta do it. I'm just saying, my hip is a piece of shit.